Hey everyone. Before we get into today's topic, I just wanted to do a very brief follow-up to my previous video, Farts Are Social Warfare. If you didn't see it, you can find it on my channel. So at one point in the video, I had touched on how flatulence contributes to global warming. So I wanted to show you this article that I found today. Now, I don't want to dive deep here because that's not what this video is about, but essentially James Hamblin of The Atlantic talks about how if everyone ate beans instead of beef, we could meet our greenhouse gas emission goals. Listen, I believe meat is murder as much as the next guy, but I don't think beans are necessarily a good alternative. I feel like it's going to kind of create a lot of gassiness and really exacerbate this climate disaster that we're dealing with. But keep fighting the good fight, James. Before we go any further, I do want to apologize for using the phrase as much as the next guy instead of something like as much as the next person. I really am trying to work on that. Also, I want to apologize for being too lazy to re-record it. So, on to the main point of discussion here. I just wanted to start by saying I do consider myself to be very progressive and ahead of my time in my thinking. So I was very shocked when I came to the realization about how toxic urinals are, and after a quick Google search, came to find that I was a little behind in this thinking. Okay, so the clap sound effect wasn't elegant, but it does signify my approval with this movement. In a nutshell, the reality of the situation is that urinals are insensitive and psychologically disturbing for transgender men. Now, if you live under a rock and you don't know what a transgender man is, it's a person who was labeled a female at birth by some arrogant doctor and then quickly embraced the truth that they are indeed a male. Of course, this person, who for all intents and purposes is 100% a man, 100, does not have a penis. So you can imagine his trauma having to see these urinals in the restroom. So I want to show you this clip from Portland, one of the pioneer cities in this movement.
Are the things men often use to relieve themselves in the bathroom. They come in lots of sizes and shapes, and you can find one in just about any men's restroom. But not in the Portland building, not when it reopens. The city has redesigned all the bathrooms to be gender neutral, which means urinals are banned even in the men's room. Conservative talk show host Lars Larson first told me about the change. He is outraged.
I think it's ridiculous. First of all, I know that it already makes a lot of people uncomfortable. All right.
Oh, okay, Lars. What about the half of 1% of society that's a transgender male? Does their comfort not matter? Let's look at some comments regarding Portland's courageous effort to deconstruct this absurd societal construct of quote-unquote gender. This is insanity, pure and simple. Alright, so we've got some bigotry here. Sicko heaven, everyone else's hell. More bigotry. I'll use the sinks, problem solved. If one had a penis between your legs, you're a man, not a... Oh, jeez. You're not a woman. If one had a vagina between your legs, you're a woman, not a man. Got it. You know what? I can't deal with this right now. Alright. I'm so sorry about that, everyone. I had to go to my safe space room for a couple hours, sit in my beanbag chair, meditate, and just cleanse myself of these alt-right viewpoints. I get really triggered by that kind of thinking. The fact that people use biology and logic to justify bigotry. Anyways, I bet you're wondering where the whole paradox of urinals title of this video comes into place. Well, once I stopped hyperventilating and found the strength to continue through the comments, I found this. Definitely not a green move. Urinals use about 10% of the water toilets use. Whoa. So, I did some research and found that this person is indeed on point, that urinals are way more environmentally friendly. Thus, we are left with the paradox. Clearly, urinals need to go, but they are also 90% better for the environment. So what's the solution here? Well, S squared JW is coming to the rescue here. Right quick, if you're wondering what my name stands for, it's Super Social Justice Warrior. If you claim that it stands for Stupid Social Justice Warrior, then you're ignorant. So, here's what we do, and follow me here. Instead of getting rid of urinals, let's get rid of toilets. Now, I know what you're thinking, but S squared JW, urinals don't flush solids. I've thought of that too. We can build a chute that goes straight into the sewers, and we can mount containers on the wall that store biodegradable bags and scoopers like you would use in a cat's litter box. Then, so, you know how we have facial recognition software? Well, we can create some kind of racial recognition software and force white men to have to scoop out and clean up the excrement left by them and minorities. But how do we make sure they clean it, you ask? Well, we can automate locks on the stall doors and sensors in the urinals so that they can't leave until they comply. I feel like while this isn't a proper punishment to white men for all the subjugation they've imposed historically, it at least gives them a tiny taste of slavery. Well, that's gonna do it for today, everyone. I feel really proud of the progress we're making in these videos. In 2 videos, I have already established that if we, and by we I mean white men particularly, stop farting, and if we do away with toilets, we might be able to save this planet. I'm still not on board with the whole eating beans thing, but James did have his heart in the right place. Just remember, us SJWs can make a difference. There are literally no greater issues in the world right now to focus on. Have a great night, everybody.